Good evening and welcome into the pregame show here on the Reading Fightin Phils Radio Network. My name is Jake Starr. To our right is Bob McCool, and the man in the middle is the skipper, manager of the Fightin Phils, Al Pedrique. Al, how's everything going? Appreciate you joining us.
Okay, thank you, Bob. Thank you again for letting me be here and enjoy this conversation with you guys like always. It's been great, Obviously, we would like to win more games, but I feel like the team has been battling, playing hard. Obviously, losing a lot of games by one run, but I feel like they're giving their best, and hopefully we start a winning streak tonight.
Is that something? I know it's what you preach, that you want to battle every night, but do you feel like you have to preach that every night, or do you feel like they've just kind of bought into the fact that we just have to keep fighting and fight our way through it?
It's both. I give them the benefit of the doubt, but myself, I like to remind them every day. We're here, we're going to fight, we're going to compete. We're going to prepare ourselves the best we can on a daily basis, and once we cross those two white lines, we have to execute, we have to play as a team, and that's something that just Bob I do every night.
And a week like this, it's a unique week, especially in this new age of minor league baseball, right? You're playing, tonight completes 12 games pretty much in 12 days, no off days, and a lot of not overnight travels, but late night travels with no off days in between either. I'm sure it's something you've dealt with probably in your time in Trenton, Scranton, Wilkes-Barre before COVID, but in this new era of minor league baseball, you've had to kind of navigate things a little bit differently with this challenge of the recent stretch?
Well, not really. You just want to make sure that you keep everybody fresh. You schedule daily body practice or your daily workout on a smart way. So you, like I said, you keep the guys fresh. Once this game starts, they'll be ready to go. And I think it's good for baseball and for this new generation to learn how to play against adversity, play against a tough schedule, because once you get to the big league, it's not going to be any easier. So it's good for the makeup, it's good to build character, knowing the fact that when you get to the next city, hey, we're not playing indoor, maybe it's not going to rain, we still have to battle the heat, so it shows that what type of players they're made of, and again, they have to understand that's part of the game, that's the way it is, we just have to be tough mentally and physically.
Well, that leads me into what happened last night. Now, obviously, what happened last night in the second game, you're in the top of the seventh. You need 2 outs to get out of it. It's a 3-1 lead. Tristan Garnett gives up a grand slam and ends up flipping the game the other way. Not about what Tristan Garnett did, but from your perspective as a manager, obviously it becomes a point to you. He knows what he did. Nobody wants to make that mistake. But where do you go from a managerial standpoint? Is it something that you feel like you have to address, or just leave it go because he knows what happened?
No, I'll go directly to the player like I did last night after getting to Garnett. He's been great out of the bullpen, and I just told him, hey, it's going to happen. You're going to have good days, you're going to have good weeks, bad weeks. You did the best you could, because the inning before he came in with a jam. He pitched out a jam, so he gave us a chance. The second time he went back out, I thought he got relaxed a little bit and started leaving pitches up in the zone. Once they understand and realize what he did in that one inning, I'm fine with it. It's a learning process. You have to make the adjustment. And again, I go to the player and say, keep your head up. Tomorrow's another day.
And let's talk about another arm who threw last night, and that's that Friday Contreras. It feels like ever since you guys shifted him to more of that bulk middle reliever role, he's really excelled. What is it about that role and about Contreras that has made that pairing such a really good one?
I think Jay has to be more the mental part, knowing the fact that he's coming in for maybe 2 or 3 innings. So his velocity has been around 92, 93, 94. So he's nice and fresh. So he knows the fact that he's going to come in and challenge guys. If he's coming in with the guys in scoring position, he's going to have to make quality pitches. And that's what he's done the last 3 outings coming out of the bullpen. For some reason, he feels stronger. For that matter, so as right now, that's what we're going to continue doing with him, use him out of the pen, because he's done a great job.
Do you think it's just a mental thing of when he has to start, it gives him more time to think about what he's doing?
I think so. There's some guys when they have that stretch of 4 days, to prepare, go in the weight room, do the running, throw on the side. It's like they continually think about that start. They can wait for that start to get there, and then I think yes, you're right. They get too anxious. Some of the guys has the ability to control that and monitor. Some guys, takes longer. But from my perspective, Contreras, he's a lot better out of the pen for that reason. He doesn't have to think ahead. Just one hit at a time, one pitch at a time, and he knows he's going to be there for 2-3 innings. That's it.
Now let's talk about a pitcher who's not here, hasn't been here this year, but was here last year, and that's Tyler Phillips. Tyler got the call up to the Phillies, someone who grew up a Phillies fan. Just for him and for someone who got to be around him last year, it's got to be really cool to see him get that opportunity.
It was when I saw that, because this is the guy we had last year. He did a great job for us as a starter. Great kid, works hard. Obviously, he was trying to get another chance, and finally he got it. I'm sure he's going to help us up there in Philadelphia. He knows how to pitch. He got 3-4 pitches, and most of the time he's around the strike zone with all his 4 pitches. So we wish him nothing but the best.
He's a great lesson for pitchers across the board because, as you know, this game has become, if you can throw 98, we're going to give you a shot. But there's other ways to get it done. Tyler Phillips exemplifies that. And everybody, right now, as good as the Phillies starting rotation is, they have a bunch of guys that are that way. They're not guys who are all throwing 98, but they're guys who know how to pitch.
And that's the key, Bob. You just mentioned it. Know how to pitch. Know when to locate your fastball. You don't have to stay in the middle of the plate the whole time. You got to be able to use the corner, go up and down, so you keep the hitters honest. And that's one thing that we've done in the minor league. I think that we've done a good job. But telling the kids that, yes, we want you to attack the zone, but also you have to realize when you can get off that plate a couple inches west or east, and then once in a while you have to elevate to change the hitter's eye level. And I think in Philly, he's one of the guys. He showed last year where he threw 91, 92, maybe 93, but then he had a nasty breaking ball, some good changeup, and he missed his pitch as well. And that's what we hoping that the kids down the minor league understand that you don't need to throw 99, 100 to get people out. It's about command, location, and keep the ball down the zone.
And for you as a manager in the Phillies organization specifically, I believe it's 4 players the last 2 years that have gotten up to the big leagues, Dunn, Rojas, Kerkering, and now Tyler Phillips. That's for you as a manager. I know at the end of the day it's about the players and their development, but for you as a manager, it's got to feel really good to know that you had a part in getting these guys up to the big leagues. Whether they were a prospect like a Rojas or maybe someone like a Tyler Phillips or Dunn who kind of came a little bit under the radar.
Well, that's why I'm a firm believer. Give me 28 guys, and we got to figure out how to get better at each guy. Find ways to motivate them. Find them to trust themselves and know that they're here for a reason. Know your role, know your job, and just be responsible with your career. Care about your career. Be engaged on the daily basis. So as a staff, that's our job. Each year, our goal is to get 1 or 2 guys to the big league. If you do that every year, man, we're going to be a Hall of Famer.
Carlos De La Cruz at the beginning of this year was a guy who you've said from the very beginning, he just put too much pressure on himself. And because of that, because other guys around him were getting the opportunity to move up, and here he is back in AA again. But he seems to at least have come to grips with the fact that whether it's from you preaching it to him every day or not, that his time will come if he just gets the job done here every day.
That's right. I mean, if you keep up and you're consistent with your routine, your preparation, and understand what your job is, what your role is, the area that you need to improve every day. Because once you come to the park, I guarantee you there's something you need to work on, there's something that you need to improve on to show the organization, people around the game, that you're getting better. And I think De La Cruz, the second half, he's going to have a better half. He's more engaged with his routine. He's been consistent in the cage. He's been paying a lot of attention in the outfield. So I feel there's something there about De La Cruz that he's going to finish up stronger in the second half.
Now, last one for me before I let you go here, Al. Last couple of years, we talk a lot about routine and preparation. Baseball is a long season, right? You're playing 138 games, up to 162 plus some at the big league level. When it comes to preparation, when it comes to routine, especially this time of year when it feels like maybe things start to get a little bit repetitive, a little bit tedious, how do players kind of keep their routines fresh and keep it from feeling like it's getting, I guess, boring in a way?
Yes, you have to be careful because you just mentioned it, and we call it the dog days. It's hot, humid. So the players have the tendency to relax and say, well, you know what, I don't feel like I'm going to have it today. Well, I'll have it today because as a coach, that's what we have to be on top every day. Remind, hey, we're here for a reason. Let's go. We got to go out and play the game right. We got to execute. We got to win some games. You know, it's all about right from 1 o'clock in the afternoon when they start walking the clubhouse. Just remind, hey, prepare yourself right. We're going to be fine. that's the way it is. We're not going to change the weather overnight. We're not playing indoor, which would be nice, but it's all part of the game, and that's the one thing they have to understand, that when they go to the big league, they're going to be going to cities in July, August. It's going to be very hot and humid. So that's the mental approach that we need to be consistent with. Once they realize, and once as a coach, we monitor the workload, how much we do early. And I told them today, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. Once you take your 5, 10, 15 swing, you feel good, get out of the cage. The same thing with the pitcher. When they go out with the pitching coach, they do the throwing program, you feel good with 5, 6, 7 pitches, you say you're done. So they have to understand that we trust them, and they need to learn, they need to know their body. So when the body tells you, I'm good, trust your body, and just go from there.
That's the skipper, Pedrique. We'll let him get back inside and cool off a little bit before back in the humidity and heat for tonight's Game 6 against the Somerset Patriots. That's coming up at 6:45. That's been Pedrique, the manager. For my broadcast partner, Bob McCool, I'm Jake Starr. This has been the pregame show on the Fightin Phil's Radio Network. Lineups and first pitch coming up after this.